the 2003 Greenfield Village Old Car Fest, they celebrated the 100th anniversary of Buick with a passing review of some older Buicks, pre-1932.
We're running seriously short of time, but we do want to recognize the 100 years of Buick, so we're going to do a real brief thumbnail sketch of the Buick Company. Buick was never really a very good businessman. He ran out of all of his money. He went looking for investors. He found an investor in one Benjamin Briscoe, thank you, who backed him, but again, David was not a good businessman, wasn't building very many cars. Briscoe wanted out. Long story short, he finally sold the company to William Durant, who went on to found General Motors with Buick as the foundation for that. In 1911, the famous Buick slogan was born. Legend has it that the slogan was created when Durant was giving one of his race car drivers a tour at the factory, and Durant told the driver that he wanted any parts that failed during a race returned to the factory so they can improve on them. Durant is reported to have said, "The next time we build it, we'll build it better. When better automobiles are built, Buick will build them." By 1912, Durant overextended himself in General Motors, and the stockholders wanted him out of there. Buick continued to do very well, though, without Durant, and continued to prosper. Unfortunately, David Dunbar Buick, again, who was not a very good businessman, was out of the company by 1908. He tried his hand in the California oil business, tried to make a carburetor, sell a carburetor he invented. He dabbled in two car companies, the Lorraine and the Dunbar. He tried to sell Florida real estate. Just did not do very well at all. In fact, in 1928, he was found working at the information desk at the Detroit School of Trade. He was so poor, it's reported he couldn't even afford a telephone, let alone one of the cars bearing his name. When Buick was interviewed at the time by a young reporter, Buick said he had no regrets not staying with the company, said it was just the breaks of the game. And a year later, in 1929, Buick died in Harper Hospital of cancer. In 1937, General Motors adopted the actual Buick ancestral family crest for the Buick car. By the way, back in Scotland, the family spelled its name B-U-I-K. The C was added over here. Let's talk a little bit about these cars. If I can find, that's a 1909 Buick Model F Touring owned by Tony Paradise. 2 cylinders, made in Flint, as most Buicks were. Buick was only in Detroit very briefly until Durant took it over. Sold for $1,250. And again, this has the overhead valve engine. It is 1913 Buick 31 Touring owned by Gary Van Dyken of Charing Cross, Ontario. Car 224 is 1922 Buick C45 Touring owned by Ed Siraki of Sterling Heights, Michigan. I can't see the other ones. If we could have you guys move up here a little bit. 177. Buick's 1915 Buick C37 Touring, owned by Michael Wecker of Mount Clemens, Michigan. 280. Oh, I'm sorry.
Car number 289 is a 26 Buick Standard 6, owned by Stephen Stewart from Detroit.
Buicks built 2 cylinders early on and then switched over to 4s and 6s. I believe the first 2 automobiles are 4-cylinder overheads. The red Touring is a 6, is it not? Is a 6-cylinder. They were very large. The 6 cylinders were powerful, good, strong engines. I think the C15 is a 4. Your 4-cylinder engine. We have a 6-cylinder. And anyway, go ahead, Bob.
And then number 458 is a 1931 Series 60 Phaeton, owned by John Patricia from Bell River, Ontario, and that's got the straight 8-cylinder engine.
You see the lines on this 289. There's a striking resemblance to the Packard radiator shape, which was really Packard's trademark. When Buick first came out with this design, which was short-lived, remember the Buick slogan, when better cars are built, Buick will build them. Packard came out with an ad that said, when more beautiful cars are built, Packard will build them. Buick got the message and changed their design. Thank you very much. Thank you. All Buicks came equipped with horns. Whoa!
Yeah, told you.
Buicks later became very large, powerful, classy cars, but still were very good, still considered pretty much mid-range in the General Motors lineup.
That pretty car.
Very, very pretty.